Hey everybody, it's Nate from The Kraemer Life. I'm back. This is the first time picking up my camera and recording in over a month. I actually traveled back to Oregon and spent quite a bit of time with my family over the Thanksgiving break and into December. And then when I got back, my travels back, I think I got sick during the travels back. Ended up spending a little over a week in bed. And today's the first day where I actually have some energy and able to maybe get some stuff accomplished. So, over that time, I've been thinking a lot about the house. And in fact, been thinking a lot about this house over the last few months, probably over the last 6 months, and what needs to be done. And so I'm actually going to be starting working on the house again. kind of have to admit I'm not very excited about it right now. It seems pretty daunting, the amount of work that has to be done to it still, but it needs to get done, and I've delayed long enough, so I'm going to get started on it and take you guys along with me, of course. So let's talk about what I'm going to be working on first, and we'll start with that by going inside, and I'll show you. What I need to work on first, I think, is the floor. So this floor is not exactly the smoothest walking surface. What I mean by that is there's a lot of ups and downs. It's not very, I don't think it's level, but it's definitely not flat. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it level as much as I would like to, but I think I have a plan on helping out with the flatness of the floor, the rigidity of the floor, because what we're going to be doing for the flooring is we have a bunch of vinyl planks. They're apparently 100% waterproof. Here's kind of what they look like right here. And the thing about any vinyl planks is that it really needs a flat, smooth surface. They don't do a very good job on writing the contour of the floor because they are so stiff and rigid and they have those interlocking edges. My plan to make this floor here smooth is to use leveling compound on the entire floor. Leveling compound, I think it's pretty much just cement, and that stuff is very heavy. And the way that these floors are constructed, because it was built in the 1930s, I don't think the floor is going to be able to withstand the extra load or the extra weight of the leveling compound for a long period of time. I think, for the first, I don't know, call it a couple months, I think it'll do just fine. But as we walk on it, we put more live load on it, furniture and all that kind of stuff, I think over time it's just going to start settling, cracking, and I don't think we'll be happy with the floor. So what I need to do is I need to add more floor joists. All right, so here is an example of this floor and how it's not the smoothest. So you can see between the joint of these two plywood pieces, this is already popping up. And if I were to take a straight edge and put it across, let's see here, let's see if we can find an area that it has. So I can 3/16 of an inch dip just in this spot right here. If I were to do another area, that's nearly a 1/2 inch dip right there. Wow, that's really pretty bad. And I'm telling you, that is just all over this floor here, both in this living room area and then in the kitchen area and also in this bedroom over here. And that's because that's the flooring of the original 1930s house. So the 2 bathrooms and the 2 bedrooms that are back there, those are part of a new addition that was built in the early 2000s. And so all of the joists are properly sized and spaced and it's done correctly. And so that flooring is flat and level. There's a few areas that it squeaks, and I'll correct those areas, but it's not like this stuff here. So let's go head downstairs. I'll show you what we're working with, and I'll quickly talk about the plan and what I need to do to prep. Hi, shenanigans. Hi, ladies. Hi, ladies. How you doing? Where's Blanche? Did Blanche escape? Looks like Blanche escaped. Oh, great. Hi, Levi. Hi, buddy. Hi there. Hi, good boy. Good to see you. Yeah. Hey, Winston. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi, Kinsley. Hi. Hello. Let's talk about down here. So the way that this house was originally built was using 3-inch by 5-inch rough sawn lumber. I don't know what kind of species of wood this is. I'm guessing it's oak. On this side here, I'm on the west side, west half of the house here. It spans basically nearly 11 feet from the edge of the foundation to this center beam here. On the east side of this portion of the house, it uses 2-inch by 6-inch rough sawn, I think they're oak, and it spans just under 10 feet from the center over to the edge of the foundation. And all of these floor joists are centered between 24 and 28 inches on center apart. So using today's standards, today's code, those are, first of all, spaced too far apart. And I'm not sure what the span of this type of wood, this thickness and length of this wood is, but pretty certain it's definitely not up to code. And my goal isn't necessarily to get the flooring up to code. My intent and my goal is to stiffen the floor so it can bear the weight of additional dead load, which is going to be the weight of the leveling compound, the floor leveler. And so what my plan is to use new dimensional lumber, which I have ordered and it's coming tomorrow. And I'm going to be putting in a floor joist every 12 inches. So starting from this wall and every 12 inches down to that wall. And I think it's a 29-foot distance from wall to wall. That's the north side and the south side of the house. So I'll be putting 29 new floor joists on this side and 29 new floor joists on this side, utilizing the same center beam here and the edges of the foundation. There is this beam here held up by these metal floor jacks. This is actually going to go away because they're really not doing anything. There's areas where they don't even touch. And it's a 4x4 non-structural type of lumber, and like they just have these weird notches like this. It's just really not doing anything. So this is actually going to go away, and I may replace it with something new. We'll see how it goes. And I'm going to use these floor jacks to better secure the center beam so I'm not spanning more than a couple feet. And there's just areas like where the center beam is spliced together here with nails, and I just want to prop it up. So it's going to be a whole bunch of work, and there's a lot of prep work to do. So I think the first thing I'm going to do today is go upstairs and try to remove as much load from the floor as I can, which means moving a bunch of stuff off of the floor into a different area of the house. And then from there, I'll have to come down here and do a bunch of prep work to add structural support to the center beam here. And then there's a few areas where I need to remove like water lines that will be in the way. I need to measure exactly where every 1 foot is going to be so I know where the new floor joists are going to go. Need to take out some blocking that I put in. Well, you can definitely tell that I still have sick brain, just not quite 100% with it right now. That's okay. Let's go ahead and just go do some manual labor, get a bunch of stuff moved upstairs, and see how much we can get done today. Hi, Eenie. Hi, Meanie. Hi there. How you guys doing? Huh? How you doing? Hi, guys. You guys have a nice pool over here. Look at this thing. It's probably pretty cold. You can go for a swim? It has a layer of ice on the top. That doesn't look very enjoyable right now. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, sweetie. So I think the first thing I need to do is move all of this stuff that's in this room, and also the stuff that's in this room here. This is all just weighing down the floor. I need to get that stuff moved off of the floor, and I think the only place I really have to store this stuff right now is in this back room here, where there's still all of this construction debris from when we took down the wall between the kitchen and the living room. So all of this stuff needs to go outside. All right, as you can see, we got delivery from Lowe's earlier this morning as I was working on the wood pile, put it into the trailer. So I'll go over this stuff in more detail, how it's going to be used a little bit later, but basically I got 60 boards. They're 2x6 boards. I got 12 or so 2x4s, 2 boards, 4 foot by 8 foot foam board, 1 inch thick, and then a bunch of supplies in here, nails, Simpson strong ties, some foam, a foam gun. So a lot of work represented right there, and I'm excited to get started. Probably tomorrow I will go ahead and get that stuff put inside so it doesn't get rained on. I don't want it to get wet. All right, I'm gonna go find a tarp, put a tarp over it, and then I think I'm done for the day.
You good?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh. All right.
Down the board.
And you're gonna have to steer because I can't see.
Are we able to turn more? What?
We're not gonna get those nails up there, are we?
No.
More turning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it more turning.
There we go.
Okay.
I mean, if you wanna, well,
Yeah, we just do it this way, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to get out of the way. We can come back a little bit more. A little bit more. All right, that should be about good.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Coming down slowly.
Okay.
You got it. Keep going. Keep going. Alright. There we go. Okay. And it's got about a 6 inches.
Right here, let's get it out underneath this.
Push again.
Okay. Good enough?
Yep. Very tilty.
It is very tilty. There's some shims.
Little shims.
Yeah, I have one right
You
here.
have some, okay. Do you need me? No?
There you go.
That's better.
That seems better. Okay. Whew. Okay, now that I have most everything out of this room, the master bedroom, and not quite all the way everything out of the kitchen, but that's okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing the floor joists for this room first, and then after I have all these floor joists in, the I can move this heavy stuff. This cabinet here was really, really heavy. We tried to lay it on its side and pick it up and move it out, and we just couldn't do it. So we're just gonna move that there, and then we'll move it back into the living room when I'm going to be doing the floor joists for the kitchen and for the master bedroom. Because this wall right here, that's the halfway point between the two. That's where I showed you downstairs, the beam, that's halfway through. All right. Whew. So that's a lot of work. Got all this heavy stuff moved off. Now I can start the prep downstairs. I've set up a laser level that I got just recently because I want to see how much dip there is throughout the floor. Just kind of curious, because the other day, just yesterday actually, I was standing right here at the edge. This is where the foundation wall is, and I was trying to go through the sliding glass door here, and I noticed that there's a big dip right here, very large dip. And so I actually want to measure to see how far of a dip that is. So I'm going to measure from this side of the wall. This is where the foundation is. So the line starts at 1 1/4 inches here. This side should be level to the other side over there. I'm going to go measure that really quick. 1 1/4 inch. So over the other side, it's 2 inches. So there's a 3/4 inch difference between the height of this floor over here at this edge and that edge. Whatever that tells me, I don't know, I guess. Ow, frick. This level only has an accuracy up to 30 feet at 1/8 of an inch. So we're 1 1/4 at that. I'm going to go roughly every 1 foot. We're 1 5/8. 1 3/4. So there's already a 2-inch drop in the first 8 feet. 2 1/8. 2 3/8. 2 1/2. 2 5/8. 2 5/8. The biggest dip point is nearly 3.5 inches right here. That is, that is 21 and 22 feet away from the beginning wall, the south wall. Nearly 3.5 inch dip. And then it raises to 2 3/16 inch dip at the north wall. Whew. So I need to subtract. So starting right here, the laser level is 1 1/8 inches high from the floor here. And so I need to make sure I reduce that amount on all of these measurements. But I think what I'm going to try to do is, after I put the floor joist in, I'm going to remeasure the same way and see if I have less deviation, less of a dip in the center here, make it a little bit flatter. Because if I were to stand at the lowest spot and remove 1 1/8, it'd be 2 5/16 inch dip right here. And that is, I think, too much for a leveling compound to work its magic. So, honey, this thing dips so much. So
I dippy dip.
there's nearly a 3-inch dip from over there to here. So like 2 and
Yeah.
2. We'll just say 2 and 2.5, 2 3/4 inch dip, which I think is too much for a floor leveler to account for. So, yep, hoping that the work that I do actually raises it up. Yeah, crazy stuff. We have these ceiling joists that we're going to be wrapping in plywood and painting to match this side of the room. And now that we have this cathedral, we want that to go all the way through. But this one here is hanging on by a thread. There's a big crack in it right here. It's a knot in the wood, and I want to make sure that it doesn't break on me. So I got a metal bracket that I'm going to be putting and screwing in or screwing onto the side, so that way to add some rigidity to it. Hopefully that'll work. So maybe I'll put it on this side. Anyway, I'm going to try to get that in there before I start doing any work down on the floor, just in case it provides any stress or anything to these ceiling joists. That is a very hard wood. I can't even get the screws to go in by themselves. So I'll have to do a little pre-drilling first. So that wood is extremely dense, and it's really hard to get these 1/4 inch by 2.5 inch lag screws through that. I'm going to switch over to the impact driver to see if it'll be easier to get those things in there. Whew. That's much better. So that's not going to be the final support that I do for that ceiling joist there. Like I mentioned, I'm going to wrap those in 1/2 inch plywood to match the look of these. That'll add quite a bit of rigidity to that. I'll probably do another tie on the other side after I cut the ends of those bolts off. Actually, I'll probably use the disc grinder and smooth that out and put another tie on the other side using shorter screws just to give it some more rigidity. But for now, that board's not going to split, it's not going to fall, break in half. So that was the plan. Now I can start my work downstairs and try to get this floor stiffened up.